Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Aniete Patrick. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has submitted 32 ambassadorial nominees to the Senate. The list includes former Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, immediate past INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu, former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode, and former presidential aide Reno Omokri. The list split into 15 career and 17 non-career nominees. Also includes former Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu and business mogul Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, with the presidency emphasizing that women constitute a notable portion of both categories, including Professor Nora Dadot, a former senator from Plateau, and former Adamawa Senator Grace Bent. According to presidential spokesman Bayo Ononuga, the nominees will be posted to strategic countries and key multilateral missions after Senate confirmation as part of government's broader diplomatic realignment. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has celebrated Nigeria's election into Category C of the International Maritime Organization Council for the 2026 to 2027 term, describing it as a renewed global endorsement of the nation's maritime relevance after 14 years outside the council. Tinubu praised the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, NIMASA, and Nigeria's diplomats for their strategic work during the General Assembly in London, saying the victory reflects confidence in Nigeria's commitment to safety, security, and rule-based maritime operations. The president said the mandate aligns with his plan to expand blue economy infrastructure, strengthen anti-piracy efforts, and deepen Nigeria's role as a regional shipping hub, while assuring member states that the country will deliver on expectations. Former Nigerian president and chairman of the West African Elders Forum, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, says no coup occurred in Guinea-Bissau, despite widespread reports of the military takeover. Jonathan made the clarification after returning to Nigeria following days of unrest in Bissau that triggered global concern. Our correspondent Ubong Usoro reports.
West African sub-region, after a heavy gunfire erupted around key government institutions in Guinea-Bissau, sparking fears of another military takeover. Several international observers, including former President Goodluck Jonathan, were in the country at the time and had to be evacuated as uncertainty deepened. But speaking after his arrival in Abuja, Jonathan said the incident was not a classical military coup, insisting that President Umaru Embalo remained fully in charge of state affairs. Jonathan described the situation as an internal power struggle within the security architecture rather than an attempt to overthrow the democratic governance.
Basically, what happened in Guinea-Bissau is quite disturbing to me, who believes in democracy. In fact, I feel more pained than the day I called Buhari to congratulate him when I lost the election as a sitting president. Because I've been quite particular about Guinea-Bissau. As a sitting president, then Guinea-Bissau was in crisis.
Jonathan explained that the circumstances surrounding the events in Bissau were strange and unlike any coup he had observed in the past. He also urged ECOWAS and the African Union to continue to monitor developments closely to prevent instability from spreading across the region.
And what is happening is like we are going back to those dark days of Guinea-Bissau, where the military can do whatever they think they can do. It's totally not acceptable.
Jonathan reaffirmed the commitment of regional leaders to protecting democracy, strengthening electoral systems, and preventing the resurgence of military rule in West Africa. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has confirmed that he honored an invitation by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over allegations he described as fabricated, saying he would keep Nigerians updated in the interest of transparency. Malami revealed that the engagement with investigators was completed and that he had been released on the understanding that he would return on a scheduled date for further questioning. The commission has not yet disclosed the full scope of its inquiry, though Malami says he is confident the truth will emerge as the investigation progresses. In a display of honor, tradition, and military pride, the Nigerian Army has formally rolled out 8 retired generals, celebrating decades of leadership and service that helped shape the nation's engineering corps. Global Television's correspondent Felicity Ndere reports from Makurdi.
At the headquarters of the Nigeria Army School of Military Engineering in Makurdi, a rare and symbolic ceremony unfolded, the rolling out of senior officers who have completed long, distinguished military careers. For the Army Corps of Engineers, it is more than a farewell. It is a reminder to serving personnel to stay alert, remain combat ready, and uphold the discipline required to confront Nigerians' evolving security threats. The 8 Sapa generals honored each served the nation for more than 3 decades. Their sign-off is a tribute to commitment, resilience, and a lifetime of military excellence. The revealing officer, Major General Philip Oromosele, speaking on behalf of the retirees, reflected on the training and discipline they received at the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering, noting that these values shaped their careers and sustained their dedication to duty.
We feel highly fulfilled, grateful to God, and grateful to the Service Chief, Chief of Defense Staff, and the President for the opportunity to serve Nigerian Army in this capacity. So we urge our colleagues to remain in service, to remain loyal to the constitutional authority, dedicated, committed towards addressing the myriad of security challenges that confront the nation today.
Representing the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Personnel Management, Major General Adewale Adekeye, urged the retired generals to continue to see the Army as home and to offer their wealth of experience in strengthening professionalism within the ranks.
I am here to particularly congratulate the 8 retiring SAPA officers for a meritorious service and to wish them the very best in the next phase of their life.
The ceremony reached its emotional peak with a symbolic roaring out, a tradition marking the end of an era and celebrating the legacy of officers whose service has left an imprint on the Nigeria Army Corps of Engineers. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Homeschooling has emerged as a growing alternative for parents seeking more control over their children's learning experience. With digital resources expanding and online platforms becoming more accessible, families are embracing flexible, personalized models that differ sharply from the mainstream school system. Our correspondent Nafisat Baba takes a closer look on homeschooling in Nigeria.
In recent years, homeschooling has become an increasingly popular option for families seeking an alternative to traditional public or private schools. With the rise of digital learning platforms, online resources, and changing attitude towards education, more and more parents are taking control of their children's learning. In this special report, we will explore the world of homeschooling, its benefits and challenges, and what it means for the future of education.
Because of the current situation of Nigeria now, insecurity and all that, I would say every parent should have a teacher for their child.
Homeschooling offers several benefits, including personalized learning and attention, flexibility in scheduling and pacing, ability to tailor education to individual learning styles, reduce peer pressure and social conflict, increase family time and bonding.
For a country where their infrastructure is highly developed, where you will not have issues when it comes to network issues, there is nothing wrong with online. But like in Nigeria, where we're still developing, I think it's better for children to have physical classes rather than online.
While home training can be a great option for some families, it also presents several challenges and concerns, including lack of socialization and social skills development, limited access to resources and facilities, potential biases in curriculum and teaching, increased responsibility and burden on parents.
If you look at the international community and look at the Nigerian system, the welfare of teachers has never been considered. And this is the motivational variables that every individual needs to look forward to.
As technology continues to evolve and improve, it's likely that homeschooling will become an even more viable and attractive option for many families. With the rise of online digital platforms, virtual reality, and other digital tools, homeschooling is becoming increasingly sophisticated and effective. Nefisa Baba, Global Television News.
In a nation where digital technology is expanding at record speed, another industry is growing in the shadows. Online scams, from fake investment schemes to romance fraud, the numbers keep rising, and so do the victims. Global TV's correspondent Sadia Yakubu reports.
Across Nigeria, certain cities have become hotspots for internet fraud. The tools, laptops, VPNs, foreign numbers, and carefully crafted online personals. Most scammers operate in small groups. They target foreign victims using romance scams, phishing, or fake e-commerce stores. But now, more Nigerians themselves are being scammed, especially through fake investment and crypto schemes shared on social media.
A whole lot of our youths are unemployed and unemployable. You know, they are two different things, but though related. And so by the time there is so much economic pressure on them, you know, to try to meet their basic needs, you know, societal needs and all that, and the resources is not there, they are not earning much. There is this tendency for them to be pressured into going into scam.
From social engineering to fake online love to fraudulent loan app that steal contact and harass users, digital scam operations are becoming more sophisticated and more aggressive.
Some of my colleagues where I know were not working, we graduated almost 3 to 4 years back, serve, and they are still here, you know, no job. No, when you see somebody or a friend that is into this kind of business, no, you don't need to influence you.
For some young people, online scams have become a shortcut to wealth. Social media glamorizes soft life and flashy lifestyle that fraudsters often display. But behind every stolen dollar is a victim.
If government can do something by provide a conducive environment, especially job for the young people, I think the rate of this crime will be reduced.
Experts warn that the rise of cybercrime damages Nigerians' reputation internationally, reduces investors' confidence, and puts honest digital entrepreneurs at a disadvantage. In order to stop or reduce online scams, the following must be organized: digital literacy classes, cyber safety seminars, government policy meetings, among others. If you receive messages that sound too good to be true, they probably are. Verify every online transaction, protect your personal information, and report suspicious activities to the authorities. Nigeria's digital future is bright, but only if we fight the dark corners of cyberspace together. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News return, we'll bring you stories on the foreign scene, plus business and sports on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. It's good to have you back on the AM News. If you're just joining us, in business, President Bola Tinubu has approved a National Tax Policy Implementation Committee to coordinate the rollout of Nigeria's new tax reforms, appointing veteran accountant Joseph Tegbe as chairman and Sayade Okoli as secretary, supervised by the Minister of Finance Wale Edu, and committee includes Ismail Ahmed and Rukaya El-Rufai, and is mandated to consult widely across the public and private sectors. The president said the reforms are central to boosting revenue and strengthening public finance management, while the minister emphasized that the committee will help reset the fiscal framework and curb leakages for sustainable development. Nigeria has taken a major step towards becoming home to one of Africa's most significant financial institutions for the energy sector. The federal government says all requirements for the takeoff of the African Energy Bank have now been fully met, positioning the country at the center of the continent's next phase of oil and gas investments. Kikelema Okere tells us more.
Nigeria's drive to anchor Africa's energy future is entering its final lap. Months after winning the bid to host the headquarters of Africa Energy Bank, the country says the facility is now complete, fully furnished and ready for operations. During an inspection in Abuja, the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Enikin Lokobiri, confirmed that Nigeria has delivered on every obligations required of host nations. He says the $5 billion bank was created to close long-standing funding gap in Africa's oil and gas sector, gaps that Apple says have left the continent heavily dependent on external financing, restricted technology access, and limited market control.
Apple and African Bank are the drivers of this process, to facilitate the takeoff, of the bank. But what Nigerians, and the world need to know today is that as a host country, we have met all our obligations, and the building is ready. The bank is ready to go.
So have you heard? With Nigerian readiness now confirmed, the continent moves closer to a new financial institution designed to reshape how African funds develop and benefit from its energy wealth. Kikelema Okere, Global Television News.
Nigeria's quest to build a stronger homegrown innovation and technology ecosystem received a major boost as the Tertiary Education Trust Fund unveiled breakthroughs developed through its flagship research and incubation programs. Here's Jumai Manson with the details.
At the closing of the demo day held at the Innovate Technology Hub in Abuja, TED Fund Executive Secretary Sonny Echonu reaffirmed the fund's commitment to driving research, innovation, and commercialization across Nigeria tertiary institutions. He explained that the program are structured to move ideas from concept to real-world solutions, targeting key sectors including agriculture, ICT, energy, health, security, and the circular economy.
And these programs are designed to equip our lecturers to reignite the research spirit in them.
Echonu highlighted some of the prototypes on display, including a smart power management device, an automated plastic recycling system, and a self-propelled seed planting machine. Innovations, he says, reflect the ingenuity emerging from Nigerian campuses. He also commended the partnership with Innovate Technology Hub and acknowledged the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, for sustaining national support for research-driven development. Speaking on the quality and durability of the inventions, Deputy General Manager of Innovate, Dr. Deji Ige, stressed the importance of sustainability, rigorous testing, and long-term market readiness.
With 90-95% local content, unless those things that cannot be seen around here, which I doubt, a good number of them.
Similarly, Head of Programs and Ventures at Innovate Hub, Tolulokpe Aino, said TED Fund's investment continues to empower innovations with tools and mentorship needed to scale their solutions.
TED Fund has, over the years, continued to show immense support and contribution to developing innovators like yourself.
With these emerging prototypes and the renewed push for commercialization, TED Fund says Nigeria is not just preparing for the future, it is building it.
This is a simple technology that replaces the manual method.
And therefore, we came up with a sustainable, user-friendly
machine that is designed to eliminate manual milking drudgery, reduce contamination.
Behind me are inventions made by inventors right here in Nigeria. All the products, all materials are gotten right here in Nigeria. Now, TEDFund, in collaboration with Innovate, has brought together a wide array of inventors to showcase made in Nigerian products aimed at driving sustainable development. Jumai Manson reporting for Global Television.
And on the foreign scene, Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi and Rwanda's Paul Kagame are preparing to sign a U.S.-brokered peace agreement in Washington on December 4, aimed at resolving the prolonged crisis driven by the M23 rebellion in eastern Congo. The deal follows months of negotiations led by U.S. President Donald Trump, with Kinshasa insisting that progress depends on Rwanda ending all alleged support to the rebels who have seized key cities and worsened a severe humanitarian emergency. Both governments acknowledge that the agreement faces major hurdles, including security guarantees, territorial integrity concerns, and long-standing mistrust between the parties. Pope Leo XIV has reiterated his call for the world to unite in search for greater unity and harmony. The Pope spoke on the plane before landing in Turkey during the first overseas trip of his papacy. Again, Uyi Agumofebe completes the story.
The trip, which includes a second leg to Lebanon, begins in the Turkish capital, Ankara. Pope Leo began a 4-day visit to Turkey on Thursday, urging the Turkish government to embrace its role as a mediator in a world gripped by conflict after talks with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
In both Turkey and in Lebanon, we hope to also announce, transmit, proclaim how important peace is throughout the world, and to invite all people to come together, to search for greater unity, greater harmony.
Given the first address, President Erdogan insisted Turkey is a country that would not allow a single one of its people to be subjected to discrimination, hailing the Pope's stance on the Palestinian cause and called for justice for the Palestinian people. Uyi Agumofwegbe reporting for Global TV News.
And in sports, former Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum has questioned the Nigerian Football Federation over the alleged failure to properly utilize the $960,000 FIFA disbursed in the 2022 World Cup preparations, accusing the Federation of providing inadequate training camps, poor travel logistics, and an understaffed technical crew. In a viral video, Waldrum cited poorly arranged international friendlies, including the Japan trip where key players arrived hours before kickoff, while insisting Nigeria traveled with barely half the technical personnel FIFA permits, despite available support funds. Although records show the Super Falcons engaged in multiple pre-World Cup activities in the US, Japan, Mexico, Turkey, and Australia, the NFF is yet to officially respond to the renewed allegations. And that's it on AM News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Anieti Patrick. Thank you for being a part of the news.